So the first question is, do you guys know anyone that's got an owner's manual for life? See, I want each and every one of you to know that I didn't get one either, and I'm still trying to find people that have an owner's manual. So because I didn't have an owner's manual, what I did is, I don't know if you did this, but I relied on my parents, people that raised me, classmates, teachers, people that were leaders as far as on a spiritual plane, and they all told me exactly what I needed to do to be successful. Life is easy. It's easy to be successful. The first thing that you got to do is you just got to go to school and get good grades. If you're like me, I already messed up there. But maybe I didn't, because I figured out that they kept passing kids that had A's, and then they also passed kids that had D minuses. So I thought, why work so hard? I didn't look at myself as being that smart. I worked with my hands. So once you get good grades, then you got to go out and get a good job. And then all you got to do is work hard. So every one of you, if you went to the same school as I did, you're financially done. You're totally fulfilled in life. You're happy and everything's okay. All right. If you aren't that way, if you're dissatisfied in any area of your life, I want to share with you some things that happened to me. Now, first thing is, why do they tell us that money doesn't grow on trees? Has any one of you heard this? And I just want you guys to know, if people always told us that money doesn't grow on trees, did they ever tell you where it grew? Can you think of some other things that we were told when we were young that was 100% not true? But I went out there, because I was a blue collar worker, I just did exactly what I was told to do. So I went out there, I got a job early, I worked really hard. Then what's the next thing you're supposed to do? Get married, have kids, get a picket fence, maybe a dog or a cat, and what you do is you just go out there and work. Now, I don't know about you, but every time I worked, it was always, I always had more month at the end of the money. And I really, really struggled. If I even got any little bit of savings, it's amazing how fast that savings would disappear, because, something would go wrong with the transmission. Of course, I made just enough money to be able to have a used car. Now, how many of you have been at the wrong place at the wrong time? Now I'm on workman's comp. Well, I couldn't figure out how to live on the $3,000 to $4,000 I was making a month, before. Now I'm making $900 a month. So I want each and every one of you to sort of think for a second. If someone told you today that you lost your way to make money, what would you do? And see, that's what really, really changed me. So what happened is, I had, my mind was sort of open, and a friend called, reached out to me, and he said, Robert, how are you doing? I said, not very good. And he said, listen, I met this guy, and you wouldn't believe it. His check is 62 grand a month, and he's expanding a company. He said, you don't have to have any experience, and he'll show you things that are not taught in school and college. Would you be interested? I said, I'll drive you. And he introduced me to a mentor that had some incredible knowledge. Now, one of the things he first said to me was, he said, your mind's like a parachute. If you don't open it up, it doesn't work. So I want to share with you some concepts very, very quickly that he shared with me. And I please want you to understand this. I never heard of any of these things prior to meeting my mentor. In fact, I didn't even know what the word mentor was. So this guy shared with me some knowledge that he got from his mentors and coaches, and his mentors and coaches, and so on. So the first thing he told me about is this guy named Andrew Carnegie. Now, I don't know if you guys knew him, but Andrew Carnegie, if you put his wealth today, he would be worth over $310 billion. Do you guys realize that's 3 times more wealth than Bill Gates, the wealthiest person today? And so this man read a book, and it was called The Science of Getting Rich. And what he did is, he read this book, and as he read it, it was published in 1910. And there's a lot of things. In fact, if you wait till the end, I'll not only give you a link to the video, but also an audio and the book. So I'll give it to you free. Now, this was written in 1910, and I don't know why this wouldn't be taught in school. So when you really do your research on this book, it not only helped Andrew Carnegie be the wealthiest person ever on the planet, but he was so blown away with that book, he hired a guy named Napoleon Hill, a cub reporter, to do interviews with 500 of the wealthiest people on the planet and find out what they all had in common. Now, this book was written in the 1930s, and believe it or not, one of the top best-selling books of all time. Now, I don't know about you, but just the title, Think and Grow Rich. It's like not don't think and be poor. And so there was really neat concepts that he shared with me that I would like to share with you that got me to change my thinking, made me think about stuff that I never thought of before. And what it did is it really changed my ability not only to be happier and more fulfilled, have a better lifestyle for me and my family, but more importantly, teach people, including my sons, how to never worry about money again. So one of those ideas is other people's ideas. The one thing I loved about the book is it said that you don't have to be intelligent to be wealthy. And that's why it's my favorite book. Now, think about that. Henry Ford did not invent the automobile. Mercedes did. But he took that concept over to the United States, and he'll go down in history for being able to do an assembly line and basically build as many cars as quick as he could. When you look at Google, Google was not the first search engine. Netscape was. So you look, there's also MySpace. Mark Zuckerberg made MySpace better and called it Facebook. So it was really amazing to me that if you find a great idea, and I'll talk about in a little bit about timing, but when you find an incredible idea, you can grab that idea, learn to market that idea, and everything's okay. So you don't have to be smart. That's one of the things I was told. You needed to be educated. You had to have all these degrees. You had to know all this stuff to be successful, be an inventor. You know what I mean? Like Thomas Edison. That is not true. That was one of my limiting beliefs. Another one is other people's efforts. Now, I love this. I looked up this quote because I heard it before, and there's two people that said it. I'm trying to figure out which one's going to get credit. So there's J. Paul Getty, a multi-billionaire, and of course, John D. Rockefeller. And he said, I'd rather get 1% off 100 people's efforts instead of doing 100% of my own efforts. Now, when I show you this, if you take the time to help other people make money, did you hear me? Help other people, teach other people. So when you look at people that own companies, you're going to see in a second they have a lot of employees. So if you're paying a lot of employees and you get 1% off 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 employees, this puts you in a position to not only have incredible income, but you also have a lifestyle. You also have, freedom, which is more important. So again, I've never heard of these concepts. I always traded time for dollars. And there was never enough of me. I was doing everything. So I'd work, all week, get paid on Friday, do it again. The definition of insanity, according to Albert Einstein, is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And then the next one is people have money. Now, when I first heard this, he said, guess where money comes from? And there was people in the audience that were saying, Federal Reserve has it, the banks have it, the gold companies have it. No, people have money. And what you got to do is very simply find a need and fill it. Find a need and fill it. So if you have more value than what they think their money is worth, they'll give you their money in exchange. And so that can be for knowledge, that can be for wisdom, that can be for self-help, that can be for an owner's manual. People learn to drive in this day and age. They pay people to teach them how to drive. You want to learn how to dance. You want to learn a new language. People know that stuff. And if you got something that they want, they'll exchange their money and put money on credit card to be able to get the information that you have. So all you got to do is learn something that other people want. What if you learned a different language and people wanted to learn that language? They then would pay you money to teach them how to do that language. See, everybody thinks that making money is so difficult. It's not. You could start out by growing one apple tree. Sell those apples, get 10 apple trees. Sell those apples, buy some land, build an orchard. Everybody thinks that being successful is hard. J. Paul Getty said it best, and that's the one that had the sentence here at the bottom. The more value you have to offer, the more monetary units you'll be able to receive. Now, when I seen this, you guys are going to crack up because, I had different thinking. And if you see this 397%, I know you guys have heard this, that 3% of the people employ the other 97%. In the last 10 years, these numbers have even gotten worse. We remember the 1%ers that was going out there, the group, the crowd, the movement of going after the 1%ers. Bottom line, we can complain about those 3%ers or learn what they do. So here's a guy, an entrepreneur, a CEO, an owner. All of a sudden he comes out with a great idea. Now that he wants to put it together, he's just going to share it with a few people, and he might call them all co-owners, all core founders, or maybe vice presidents and presidents. Then all of a sudden, those people help him get national managers that go out and get regional managers. They go out and get local managers, keep expanding the company, and now you have employees. Now, listen closely. Would you agree that there's more employees than CEOs and owners? Of course there is. Why? Don't get mad at me. The education system teaches this. You're not taught science of getting rich and Think and Grow Rich. You're taught to learn a skill that someone else pays you for. Now, I was told it's simple to be successful. Just find a corporate ladder and work your way up. And what ends up happening sometimes is you can't move up any further unless someone dies, retires, or gets fired. 3 positive things, right? So you climb this corporate ladder, and I don't know how many of you have done the same thing I have, but when you find you can no longer go up on the ladder, then what you do is you just take your ladder and you get upset and you go put it on another building. And you try to climb that ladder. And you just go from company to company doing the same thing. Again, definition of insanity. Now, when you look at major corporations like General Motors, Walmart, Microsoft, they all use this structure. Now, where would they get the structure from? I already told you, universities. Now, this is the Harvard logo, but you know what? You can use anyone, but you got a dean, you got department heads, you got professors, grad students, and then you got students. Now, where would they get that idea from? I don't know. Governments? You got the president, the vice president, cabinet member, Congress, state and local levels, and then what do you got at the bottom? Taxpayers. So bottom line, this structure is a thing that looks like a pyramid. Oh no, someone said it, a pyramid. And what's so funny is we're all involved in one of these notches of the pyramid, but no one ever thought about, what if I started my own? And so in the books that my mentor shared with me, it talked about you need to come up with something of value. It doesn't have to be your idea. And you got to learn to market it. If you show other people how to make money and they show other people how to make money, this is just your imagination. So you got to understand that why can't you be that person? So you get these ideas and it's simple. So the next step here is I want to share with you Marketing 101. Now, I knew nothing about marketing, but a manufacturer will come out with a product or maybe even a service like, long distance electricity, but I didn't know about the middleman. Have you guys heard of the middleman? So you got manufacturer, takes it to the national distributor, then it takes it to the regional distributor, local distributor, retailer, and then customer. I didn't realize that 60% of every cost of every product basically goes to middleman profit. Now, you guys have seen where this has really been destroyed because now you got Walmart that came out and they came out with always low prices, always. He very simply would go to a national distributor and the national distributor would say, no, we don't sell to, local and retailers. He goes, well, that's too bad. I wanted to buy 1 million of them at bulk so I could get a discount. And they went, okay. Then all of a sudden you guys notice where there was these warehouses all over the world, and they had signs on them that said open to the public. Well, guess what? Someone made a better mousetrap and you got Costco. So Costco thought, well, we don't have to make it look all pretty, but what we could do is charge people $45 for a membership and they could actually get the stuff at discount. And it worked. Well, guess what? The model got disrupted. So now you look at the next one is Amazon. Now Amazon is now gone past Costco and Walmart. And Jeff Bezos, the guy that started it, they said that he's currently right now in the top 5 of the wealthiest people. But listen to this one. This is very important. Amazon doesn't really make anything. They're not a manufacturer. So now everyone goes directly to them. They directly take it to the deal. And there you got it. But bottom line, when you see here, Amazon got between the manufacturer and the consumer, now shipping the products. And guess what? They're beating the other ones. Did you ever think that Amazon would go past Walmart and Costco? Jeff Bezos, the guy that came up with Amazon, they say he's now making $300 million a minute. But you also can learn to do exactly what Amazon does. See, you can put yourself where Amazon is, get the products directly from the manufacturer and hook people to the manufacturer. And now instead of that 60% going to the middleman, we put those 60% in our pockets. Now, how many of you like the thought of our pockets instead of their pockets? I remember when I seen this 29 years ago, my mind just went, wow, are you telling me that I can buy something at wholesale, sell it for retail, and put that middleman profit in my pocket tonight? And when I seen this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you what, I was so financially destitute. I was hiding my car from the repo man. I was being evicted out of my apartment. I had no money. Trends are what you got to be looking for. And please understand when I say this. My mentor said to me, Robert, you don't have to be intelligent. You don't have to be good looking. You don't have to have an amazing work ethic. All you need to do is get in front of a freight train moving 80 miles an hour west. Do you realize that if you step in front of a train moving 80 miles an hour west, a trend that's happening that fast, you go there. Now, I know some people are going to disagree with me because I had limiting beliefs, but when you get in front of a trend, it beats talent, it beats skill, it beats work ethic, it beats experience. We all have seen people get in front of these trends and never believed that it would happen, and it's like it caught everybody sleeping. A good example is Blockbuster. Another great example is Kodak. When you don't act fast enough, people can go out there and change the market and change it fast. Now, what this is called is not only disruption, but decentralization. But listen to these statements. When you look at Uber, Uber is the world's largest taxi company, but it doesn't own any vehicles. And decentralization does two things. One, you not only put people in a position for the company to grow, but it also allows people to ride, discounted price, but it also allows people to be Uber drivers and make money. Did you hear that? Do you know how many billions, did you hear me? Billions of dollars that has been paid out to Uber drivers. They were figured out a way to change the market. When you look at Facebook, it's the world's most popular owner of content. No one makes, even Facebook went by YouTube for the amount of videos that they have. Now, they don't create the videos. They don't create the blog posts. We do. And again, it wasn't the first idea. MySpace and other people came out with this. Alibaba is the world's biggest retailer, has no inventory. If you don't know who Alibaba is Amazon in Asia. Wow. So someone else took that idea and did it someplace else. Again, don't have to be smart. Just grab onto somebody else's idea. And Airbnb is the largest accommodation provider and owns no real estate. So if you know nothing about Airbnb, you can find people, and it puts, again, in decentralization. It allows people to find a cheaper, nicer place to stay. And also it allows people that own those homes to make money. So we're really in a unique place in the world right now. They call it the sharing economy. And if you can find out how to do things better, then you're in a great, great, great situation. So now, income. How do you make money from doing this? Now, I love this, Albert Einstein. If you guys haven't heard this, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who does it pays it. So if you are currently paying interest on anything, you don't understand this concept. So you want your money working for you. And I'll tell you, it takes a while to get there. But if you don't know about it, you can't get there. So income, I'm going to show you a theoretical example, not only with compounding interest, but leverage and residual. Again, I knew neither of these thoughts when I first met my mentor. So some of you may have heard this before, but I really want to do this. I love asking these questions. It says, if I were going to do one of two things right now, if I was going to either give you $1 million today, $1 million today, or I'll give you a penny and I'll double it every day for 30 days. Now, I'm willing to say right now to every one of you, when I first heard this question, I said, give me the $1 million. And so I've even heard neat stories behind this where, what if you had to drive 20 minutes one way to pick up a penny and then drive home? So you have that 40 minutes every day that you're supposed to use on building you. Jim Rohn said it best. You work harder on you, learning these principles, these philosophies, these strategies. You learn to think how to make money instead of just being an employee, right? So when I said I would take this, then guess what? The next slide really shows you what happens each and every day. So the first few days, all the way up to what? 20? So right around day 20, it's starting to get interesting. For some of us, I guess if you're making, day 17, $655 a day, that might be pretty cool. That's a good day to make $655. But then $1,300, $2,600, $5,200. And look what happens at day 24, $83,000 that day, $167,000 till you'll see right there on day 28, you've made $1.3 million. Then it goes to 2.7, then to $5.4 million. When I seen this, my paradigm shifted and I went, I got to figure out how to do this. So let's talk about that. Now, here's why a majority of the people, when they think about marketing and getting involved in marketing, they just say, I'm not interested. Everything is marketed now because of that decentralization and also that disruption model. But let's just say that if you got one customer, you made $5 whopping a month. So see, everyone's so short term. We're so instant community. When you go to a McDonald's or you go to a fast food place, we get upset because it takes so long. You know what I mean? So we all have, and you can Google this, we all have an 8-second attention span. So we want it and we want it now. We don't want to work on principles that work over time. So we get one customer and that's $5. Well, then if we just learned to use an effective presentation, effective advertising, and we learned how to market from people that market, and you just got one customer a week, guess what? Your first month, a whopping $20. How many people are excited? Keep watching, just like the penny. So the next month, it's 40, 60 year to date. Next month, 60, 120 year to date. Next month, 80, woo, $80. Year to date, $200. Month 5, month 6, month 7, month 8, month 9, month 10, 11, 12, 1 year. So you made a whopping $240 that month, and your year to date, you made $1,500. That's why people go, what a waste of time. Now these are all residual income. So now you're making $240 a month after a year, and you got an extra $2,800 coming in. Now, please, let's talk about the average people in the world. They say an average household with both people working, 2 people working in the household, $52,000 a year. If there's only one person, single mom, single father, we're talking what, $27,000? To make an extra $2,800 a year. This could be, and just an incredible vacation. I see how excited people get with tax returns. They get a tax refund. But an extra $2,800 to people that are in poverty is huge. I've been able to share this concept with people all over the world. And some people, you guys don't realize, they only make, $200 US. So, this is they doubled their income. They doubled their income with this simple theoretical example in other countries. But then you look at year 2. Now you're making $500 extra a month. Would that be a good car payment with insurance this time? Could you use that $500 to, maybe, like I said, upgrade your car, save it all year? You got $6,000. You really, I know for a fact that no one on here that watches this video would not only not turn down $2,800 if I just gave it to you, but you wouldn't turn down $6,000. And I know what people say all the time: money doesn't buy happiness. And you know what? That is a true statement to me. But you know what? Poverty doesn't buy happiness either. So you want to take the time. I know that every one of you have heard of this. If you save this amount of money and make your money work for you. So now we take this to third year, $9,360. Fourth year, $12,000. Let me ask you a simple question for every one of you watching this, an extra $1,000 a month. What would you have to do right now in your current situation to increase your income by 12 grand? Now, remember, I was talking about one customer a week. Just being consistent, not doing something crazy. If you want to get more customers and teach others how to get more customers, you can do that. But you look at the simple equation and now you can learn something. And if you start making that extra money, guess what? You can find people that want to learn how to make supplemental income, to pay down their credit cards, to get out of debt, to do the things that they want to do, and buy things for the people that they love, to have the best Christmas ever. How would that feel to not, have to say no? And when you start teaching this, we're going to use simple multiplication here. But 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. No big deal. I'm only showing you here where you showed 2 people how to do what you did. Run them through the same duplication system. And that's how this works. So now if we just added one person, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. Look at the difference by everyone just doing one extra person. You look at the difference, and that's 65 people by just doing one. So let's continue to take it because it's just multiplication. 5 by 5 is 25, times 5 is 125, times 5 is 625. Again, let's add one person. 6 times 6 is 36, times 6 is 216, times 6 is 1296. 1,296 people, that's additional 671. So now let's add these all up. I want to just use this example because if you add those all up, because you get the 5 and the 5, that's 780. But the other example is 1,554 total. And again, just one extra person. So that's 774. Now, if you're like me, I just use my mentor system. I wasn't interested in learning all this stuff. If he's going to teach me how to make money, I'm going to introduce all my people to his system and just let it keep duplicating. And I end up getting the check. It's amazing. So watch this. If we had 780 people in this example, we'll just use the 5 by 5. If you took that times $50 a product. Now, how many of you spend more money with, Costco per month? So if they bought $50 worth of product from the company, or their bill, their electric bill, their phone bill is $50. Let's use that small number. All these customers are just doing $50 a month. 39,000 of what is called wholesale volume that's being purchased with that company. So now if we got 5%, that's over $1,900 that you're making off that 39,000. Now that's per month. That's again additional income. And what is that per year? And 12 months, that's $23,000 that you increase your income. So I showed you 2 ways to make money here. One is just getting a customer a week, and 2 is teaching people how to do that exact same model. So you get to add this 2340 on top of the 12,000. Did you guys catch that? And so that's how these companies work. They put you in a position where you can, hook people up directly to the company, and they drop ship everything. They do all the accounting. They do everything. but they want you to introduce people to them and use a smart marketing system. So now let me share with you why I know that you can do this. First of all, because I did. I'm not all that a bag of chips. But when you hang around people that are smarter than you and you use it, that's how you become successful. Now, if you've ever heard anybody ever get involved in one of these things, people go, I've heard of these things. I want to share with you, if you tried it over and over and over again and it hasn't worked for you, don't get mad at me. They all have one thing in common. You. Now, you might not like that, but if you see on the screen here, you've heard of rumors. Have you ever heard of someone spread a rumor about somebody? Hopefully it wasn't about you. You know what I mean? But people say things. So they say in a perfect presentation and training that people retain 10% of what they hear, even if they write it down. So let's just say that there was a person that knew 100% of all the wisdom and the knowledge. Well, if that person learned from them and they were Einsteins and they picked up 50%, then they would share it just like a rumor to somebody else. They would get 25. And these are all geniuses. It goes to 12, 6, and then that person brings you into the business. And I still don't get why people listen to what other broke people are doing. So you got these people that have just an opinion. They never made any money. They've never showed anybody how to make any money. But man, do they have an opinion. And why we as people, and I do this all the time. I listen to people and I don't ask them if they're documented. I don't ask them if they've helped anyone succeed at anything. And so I always ask people that have children or grandchildren, if your granddaughter or grandson wanted to learn martial arts or gymnastics, if you could afford it and had the time, which is super important, wouldn't you want to be able to get that child in front of the smartest coaches out there? If you guys see people that like Bob Bowman, the coach that taught Michael Phelps how to win more gold medals than anyone on the planet, coaches mean all the difference in the world. And I don't know why people won't learn from people smarter than them. It doesn't make any sense to me. So if you've been in this situation, let me share with you how we solve this. It's very simple. We put together a system that allows everyone to go through that exact system. And this works for two reasons. Listen closely. If you go, Robert, I'm watching this presentation and you don't know me. I'm not very confident. I don't have any self-esteem. I fail at everything. I'm not a people person. On and on and on with all the reasons why you can't do this. Well, I want to give you the one reason why you can't. See, if you use our simple system and do exactly what we tell you to do, you're going to find people that are motivated. You're going to find people that know exactly what they're looking for. You're going to have people that are coachable, and you're going to have people that can and will invest in themselves. So when you share them how to get involved in a system that teaches success, they will go right to the source, the 100%. They'll do the advertising. They'll use the effective presentation. They'll use the entire system. And what will end up happening is they'll get in, they'll be very successful, and the company will have to send you a check every month. See, here's the best example I can share with you, is we all know people that are professional athletes or singers or actors, but we all know that they also have an agent and a manager. Let's use Kevin Durant, a person that won the world championship and the MVP of the year. If you don't know who Kevin Durant is, I can guarantee you probably don't know who their manager and agent is. And that agent and manager might not be ever played basketball, but they're getting a percentage off being an agent and a manager, hooking them up with the right team. You see what I'm saying? Hooking them up with the right endorsements. So you can learn to find motivated, coachable people that will invest in themselves, hook them directly to the source. They go straight to the top and you get paid. Man, that is an awesome way to find people better than you. But let's say it's another person. Maybe you're the person that says, no, listen, I am that person. I'm willing to work. I want to learn. I understand that I got to work hard on me. I just need a good coach, a documented coach that can show me exactly word for word, step by step on how to do this. I need a step from step one to step done. And see, if you plug in, then what you do is you're getting all the knowledge directly from the source. You apply it, you go straight to the top. So those are the two reasons why I know this will work for you. So I've shared with this with people for years, and I'm telling you what, when people apply themselves, they get results. When they learn how to use the system, other people get in the system, and it's just generated so many billions and billions of dollars and helped so many people become so successful. It's just amazing. I know that I believe opportunities are given to people. And, sometimes we just are not at the right place at the right time and we let them go. But if any one of you have ever thrown a rock, you picked up a rock and you threw it, skipped it across the water. Do you realize that an individual picked up that same rock and called it a pet rock and made millions and millions of dollars? Now, you threw that one away. And then I just did research on this story. Two individuals came over here, foreigners from another country, and they came to the United States and they needed to make money. Now, have any one of you had a cardboard box, right? And you couldn't get it in the garbage. So what you did is you broke the ends out of it and you folded it up so it would go in the garbage. Do you realize that two individuals that came here from another country, the home of the jobs, not the home of the brave, the home of the jobs, right? And what they did is they patented folding that into little strips. And people used it as a sunscreen to go on the dash of their car. And as soon as they patented it, all kinds of companies like McDonald's, Ford, all these major companies started putting advertising on it. And these two individuals made millions of dollars by taking something we've all done, folding up a piece of cardboard and put it in the garbage. I'm telling you right now, I don't know how many opportunities that you're going to get in your lifetime to make a difference, to make an impact, to change your family tree. But I can tell you one thing for a fact. I know that this is one of them. When you can plug into people that have the wisdom and the knowledge to show you exactly how to do this, it's super simple. We make things complicated.
And the last thing I'd like to share with you is I really appreciate you. Why? Because I appreciate your time. And I also appreciate you because we stole something from you, and I know that you're not going to be happy to hear this. But you'll never again be able to say that I never had a chance, that no one ever showed me what to do. Never again will you be able to say that no one would help you. We always get these people as, I just wish someone would help you. Well, here we are. I can't imagine where I would be if my mentors and coaches and teachers didn't teach me. And I know one thing for a fact. If I can do it, you can do it. I know for a fact you can. You got to believe that you deserve this and you're worth it. You know what? My mentors and coaches believed in me, and they also gave me permission to succeed. And I want to do that for you right now. I believe in you, and I give you permission to be more happy, fulfilled, and successful beyond your wildest dreams. I am so excited to get these videos, these audios, and these ebooks in your hand right away for free. The science of getting rich and think and grow rich changed every aspect of my life, and I'm going to give them to you right now. So all you got to do is comment below yes anywhere so I can get that stuff to you. And also, if there's a link around this video anywhere, click on it to take the next step. I am so honored and blessed to share this information with you. Thank you very much and have a great day.